What's going on? Man, it's been a minute since I've gone live. So we're just doing this real raw, real impromptu. Um, I got a question on one of my videos. Let me go to it really fast. Good to see y'all out there as well. There's nobody on the stream right now, but if y'all check this out after the fact. It's gonna be talking a little bit about anybody else who kind of had a similar goal as me. I feel like a lot of us share a similar goal, which is to enter dentistry with the ultimate goal of becoming a dentist, um, and just not knowing if you should go straight in, go full force toward becoming DDS, or become a dental assistant, or become a dental hygienist first. So let me go. All right, boom. So this live was actually inspired by this exact question, or this exact comment really. It said, this is Chris 2585. He said, I'm currently moving into externship as a RDA as a part of a 9-month program. My end goal is to be a dentist. I don't know if I should become an RDH first or just get started on my journey to dentistry right away. Any advice will help. Lots. So that's what we're talking about, because I had a similar goal when I came into this. When I started researching and looking into entering dentistry, the goal was to become a dentist. But not being familiar with dentistry at all, obviously I went to the school and kind of just inquired with the admission reps and said, what do you guys think would be the best route? If my end goal is to become a dentist, should I become an assistant or should I become a hygienist first? And if you watch one of my old videos, I kind of talk about this story a little bit, where the admission rep basically talked me into entering the assisting program. And what she did, which I thought was nice, and I feel like she was kind of looking out, was she took me to the program director for dental assisting and had me talk to him. Now, he was a black man who had done, I think at that point he had probably done about 20 years as a dental assistant. Excuse me. What's up, y'all? So I see a few people joining in. So we're talking about, basically, I'm sharing my story about how I navigated wanting to become a dentist at the end goal, and deciding on if I should be an assistant or a hygienist before I became a dentist. If any of you guys don't know, spoiler alert, I am a hygienist. But yeah, so let me pick back up on the story where I was at. So I went in, sat down, and spoke with this dental assistant director, and he basically laid it out like, he just said it like this. He was like, do your research before you make a decision. Before you make a decision, basically do your research on which route you want to go. And I think that was solid advice, because truthfully, you do really want to weigh out the pros and cons of like the journey, what you want to do, excuse me, what you want to do, and just how you want those things to look, right? Like your journey into dentistry. So he gave me that, and truthfully, at this time, let me give you a snapshot of that period. I was freshly out of the military. I was looking to get something started. I needed to jump into something, and being in school would have gave me something that allowed me the opportunity to, kind of feel like I was on a path to something. So, hey, what's going on, Lax King? Hey, Anitra. So yeah, so basically, where I was at was essentially wanting to start something. Like I didn't want to sit around. I didn't want to wait. Um, 55 blocks. Excuse me. Coming off a cold, y'all. So forgive me if I'm coughing here and there. 55 blocks. Why does your profile kind of look like Black Panther? Oh, that's a whole nother story, bro. But um, I was like, I did like this picture a long time ago where I was like joking around. I mimicked that poster and was calling the Black Panther, the Black Panther. But yeah, so and I just like the picture, so I use it as my profile. But yeah, back to the story. So the goal for you is to become a dentist at the end of the journey. Where I was looking at things is I just wanted to get started on something. So I actually ended up starting as an assistant in assisting school at Fortis College. And through that, I did 6 months and basically realized like this ain't for me. I was really much more interested in the dental hygiene route. So after I did those 6 months, when the next rotation came around where they started taking applications and going through the process of selection, I applied to the dental hygiene program, and it benefited me at that time because I was already in the school, right? So I was already familiar with the directors, I was already familiar with the school, and I had an opportunity to kind of make myself known as a student in the school. So I think that helped me a little bit for sure in the selection process when hygiene came around. So I applied to the hygiene program, got in, and then at that point I was dead set. Hygiene is going to be the route that I take, and I'm going to use that as a stepping stone to become a dentist. Okay. And I gave myself, this is what I was making the plan, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do 2 years as a hygienist, and then I'm going to go back to school to start, my journey toward becoming a dentist. Long story short, I started having success in different avenues in dentistry and just personally with different business ventures that I started. I was like excited about those things. Let me grab some water. Hang on, y'all. Don't say nothing about my big ass jug that I'm about to come with either. Okay. All right, so basically gave myself, after hygiene school, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do 2 years in the industry. And the thought process that I had then was this was a second career for me. Being a hygienist is a second career. So I was in the military prior to this, and I did 4 years in the Air Force as an MP, as a military police officer, right? When I entered that career, initially I was interested and I was excited about it. But once I got in, I started to learn things about it culturally that I just didn't agree with. I think I romanticized the idea of being a cop and didn't fully realize what the work atmosphere and kind of the culture of being a cop was gonna be. Like I just didn't enjoy. I'm about to share 69 of my friends and tell them, like, hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate that. So yeah, where we at? So yeah, I romanticized the idea of being a cop. So when coming into second career, I was a little bit more wise, and I figured if I'm gonna go all in, I need to baby step this. Doing dental hygiene and completing school in 2.5 years didn't sound bad to me, versus essentially getting a bachelor's degree and then applying to a dental college and then doing another 4 years. So I'm looking at that time, I'm thinking in my mind, 8 years, like, hell no, I can't do 8 years. I need something I need to get in a little sooner than that. So, back to graduating hygiene school, get myself 2 years. I ventured off and explored the industry. And truthfully, if I'm being really honest with you, I'm glad that I did, okay? I'm glad that I took time to navigate the different areas of dentistry and really be able to envision myself like long term? Can I see myself in dentistry long term? And when I say long term, I mean retirement long term. Like, do I see myself retiring here? Because when I was in the military, I didn't see myself retiring. I didn't see myself doing 20 years as an MP, right? Or anything for that matter, just because my own personal reason. I just didn't see myself giving my most of my life to the military. So for me, I wanted to enter dentistry, get a good feel for it, and see if I wanted to continue my education in it. Now, here's where my regret comes in. I multiple times throughout my career as a hygienist circled back to the idea of becoming a dentist and really soul searched within myself and thought, should I start back school? And then I always kind of went back and forth so much in my mind and ultimately ended up not moving forward. And truthfully, I wish I would have at least took a class here and there, even while I was considering, right? Like, because the years fly by. Right now, remember I said I gave myself a 2 year grace period. Gave myself a 2 year grace period. And now I'm going on this year 9 years as a dental hygienist. Okay. And spoiler alert, I'm going back to school. Um, I think for me, I've circled back to this so many times and thought how much further I'd be, how much closer I'd be to becoming a dentist right now if I had just started back when I had planned to, right? And now I'm looking at being 40 or 41 by the time I graduate and become a dentist, which to some degree I see both sides of the coin there where I'm like, bruh, I could have been so much younger and coming in and, had more time essentially under my belt as a dentist. But also I kind of look at it like a self-promotion type of thing. Like, I've done 9 years as a hygienist, and then I'll go through the journey of becoming um, I'll go through the journey of becoming a dentist, and then I'll do the rest of my career as a dentist, right? And I can have both of my credentials of being RDH, DDS, and I think that'll just be super cool. I think it'll also give me an opportunity to relate more to, um, my colleagues, and like just the fact of having the experience as a hygienist and then going dentist. Like, I'll understand the pain points and the role. I think it'll just make me a better dentist, And I've had a lot of personal validation when it comes to the value that I bring or can bring to dentistry. So I'm excited about it. What's going on, AB Dell? AB Dell. I'm gonna just say that because I don't know the pronunciation there. Oh, that's just a weekly board, bro. Just something like writing out workouts, work schedule, shit like that. Just monitoring the week. So, circling back, the thing that prompted this live again was a comment that I got from Chris2585, who said that he's basically moving into his externship as a registered dental assistant and has an end goal to be a dentist and doesn't know if he wants to become a hygienist first or go straight into dentistry. That's kind of what we're talking about right now. Anybody who just joining in. So I shared my story about where I began because I had a similar goal in mind. And truthfully, I think that if you are contemplating and if you are contemplating going back to school to be a dentist or thinking about it, I feel like whichever one you decide, if you decide to use assisting or RDH as a stepping stone, give yourself a very strict parameter on when you'll continue on the journey to becoming a dentist. Don't sit around contemplating too long, because in the moment that you're contemplating, in the time that you're contemplating, you could honestly be moving closer toward it. And if it is a goal of yours, if you see yourself as a dentist at the end of this, it's better to get to it faster than later, sooner than later, right? Because all it'll do is nag at the back of your mind the time that's going by that you could have already been en route. You could be finishing up already, you know? So keep moving on it, even if you're just taking one class at a time, a few classes here and there. Just chip away at it. Don't just let it sit there untouched and unbothered. Geo dude, I'm in the same boat right now. What boat? What boat you in? You RDH already, or you're a dental assistant? What questions do you guys have? I don't want this live to be super long, but I am here for us to chop it up and talk about this. So right now, for me, I'm going back. I'm starting school. I just reached out to the VA because I use my my full post 9/11 GI Bill to pay for hygiene school. So that's exhausted. But I am a disabled vet, and I do have a rating above 10%. So with that, that enables you to be able to get vocational rehabilitation for any vets that are watching this, in which they'll pay for you to go to school again. So right now I'm in the process of figuring out how far they'll support me in the journey of becoming a dentist. So I went on their website, va.gov, and filled out it's like some kind of form 1900 something that they go over and basically see if you qualify for vocational rehabilitation. All right, Geodude said, I'm an RDA right now, just looking into the BS in biology. I can reapply. My issue was a low HESI exam. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, excuse me. My saving grace, I ain't gonna hold you, was that again, like I was saying in the journey, I started as an assistant at the school. So I took some courses that definitely helped me when it came time to take the HESI. Like that math section, if I didn't just take a math class with a phenomenal professor, like I would have failed the shit out of that. Cause I sucked at math coming out of high school. And definitely coming out of the military. So it was good for me to get that class in. But yeah, retake that. Retake that HESI, man. Get that knocked out. But definitely some of the classes, if you go to a traditional college, so I went to Fortis. Fortis is not a traditional college. They're a for-profit college. And because a lot of their courses or semesters are shortened, they just cram more of the same quantity of work into a smaller period of time, right? Whereas traditional colleges, people get about 3 months in a particular like semester, right? So a lot of traditional colleges, don't take Fortis credits. Otherwise, man, it would have been sweet, because some of the anatomies and biology and chemistry and stuff that you have to take as your prereqs for dental school would have been great, because then I would be a part of the way toward having those prereqs done. But for me, I have to start basically over and take the necessary classes. So yeah, man, at the end of the day, what I'm ultimately saying is, if it's a goal for you to become a dentist, definitely don't wait. Chip away at it. Take classes here and there if you want to become an assistant or a hygienist. In the meantime, use your foot in the door as an opportunity to essentially network and get a feel for the industry. Ultimately, that will make you a better doctor. I think I see much more. How do I say it? I just think that people who have already been in the industry before becoming a dentist, like whether you were an assistant first or a hygienist, or even if you're a hygienist but you were an assistant first, like there's just something about that the stacked skill sets that make you a better provider. Okay, Geo dude, I'm contemplating going into dental school, bro. I'll probably finish in 2 years, but I'll probably try the pre-dent track. Yeah, man, go for it. There's nothing like knowing that you want something and being just this close and getting distracted or life happening or whatever, and then time being added onto it. Um, it's better just to knock it out, man. Get it over with, especially while you still got the energy. I think that was another factor for me, and I think it's a lot of factor for people coming out of hygiene school. Like hygiene school ain't no cakewalk, you know. It's hard. It's tough. It challenges you, and it puts so much stress on your life, just in general, that after finishing hygiene school, you're gonna be like, listen, I need a break. I'm low key traumatized because of the level of brokenness. You know what I'm saying? The stress, the juggling, the constant looming doom of failing. You know what I'm saying? Like just all that stress, man. And I know dental school is probably gonna be very similar to that. Difference is now that I've been through it, I know what to expect. So, so maybe I could do it a little better this time, and I have the backing of my dental hygiene license. That's something I look forward to as well. Being back in school, like full transparency right now, just for all of you guys that are thinking about going back to school, right? I'm gonna give you something that could be very inspiring to you. And that's when we start talking about money. Start talking about money, talking about how much we make. Like when I was in hygiene school, I worked a lot of different odd jobs. Okay. I did construction work. I was doing personal training. I worked at a spa. I I mean, there was literally, I could probably keep going down a list of different things that I'd done during that time. But I think give you an example, when I was working for a spa, I was a manager at a very nice chain spa here in Atlanta. And I was making $11.50. Now, this was back in 20, it was like 20, between 2013 to 2016 when I graduated hygiene school. But yeah, I went from that to now as a hygienist and trying to juggle life, being the provider and all the things, to now being a hygienist, and I have the opportunity to temp. And on average, I'm making $55 to $60 an hour. And a lot of times that equates to a day rate of about $420 a day. Okay. Let that be a little motivation for you, going into hygiene. Excuse me. So now I have that in my back pocket. So as a hygienist, um, and then not to mention the fact that I temp, so I have a lot of flexibility, and I do other things like content, and I have my own little side businesses and things like that that bring in a little income too. So I have a little bit more of a foundation to have a flexible schedule and go back to school. But we'll see, man. Listen, I'm still like, I don't know how this is gonna go, but I know one thing: if I want it, I'm gonna get it. It's just it may be a struggle, maybe sometimes that I'm coasting, and then maybe some challenges, but that's life. Okay, we'll see. Um, yeah, happy to speak with you too, Jill, dude. I know, man. I had the energy and time now. The biggest struggle is rejection from hygiene school and the divorce. So hey, I know I got it. All right, yeah, bro. Listen, yes. So for me, I don't know if you've seen any of my past videos, but I also I didn't. I mean, obviously, I made it into the hygiene program, but I did fail out, and at the same time, I was going through a divorce. So I feel you there, bro. It's a lot of stress, and it's hard to focus on locking in on something like school and studies and things like that when you got things crashing around you like that. So be strong, brother. Don't give up. Like, it's definitely still here for you. Keep going. Okay, Chris. All right, what's up, man? This is the guy. This is the guy whose question we're addressing tonight. So Chris said, now that you're RDH, are you going back to school, be a dentist? If so, where are you in the process and how's it been? Okay. Yeah, man. So glad to have you on here. I kind of went through a lot of everything already, but I definitely will circle back for you right quick. So I am currently in the process of starting back school, to kind of bring you back to speed, and you can watch this over again too, man. Um, Basically, what I was saying is I was just like you. I wanted to become a dentist at the end of the road. I ended up starting as an assistant because of just kind of not wanting to be too idle for too long. And I just wanted to get moving with something after freshly leaving the military. I started as an assistant in school, just in school. And I did 6 months in the program. When the next cycle of hygiene acceptance came around, I applied, got in. And then obviously 2016, I graduated as a dental hygienist. And at the time, I gave myself a cushion of 2 years. I said that I would do 2 years in the industry as a dental hygienist, and then I would continue on to become a dentist. And because I had successes in some other areas, my focus just kind of shifted. I was having fun, basically, you know, making more money and getting opportunities to grow as a speaker, as an influencer, some entrepreneurial ventures. I opened a tattoo shop. Like, I was just having a lot of fun, being able to explore and grow and just try different things. And it kind of took me away from the focus of becoming a dentist. And what I was saying too is, like, multiple times though, I circled back to thinking about becoming a dentist. I would always, in the middle of, whatever success, whatever thing I had going on, be like, damn, low key, I still want to be a dentist. But I got this going on, that going on, and really trying to pursue dental school right now. Like, I just contemplated it heavy, and I wasn't really sure if it was a good move for me and if I was ready to enter that race again, being back in school and the stress and the financial burden. But fast forward to now, I'm kind of looking at it and I'm like, man, more often than not, when I am working in a practice or just thinking about my career going forward, I see myself as a dentist, and I get constant reminders that that's my path and that's the route I should go. And And I feel like at times I kind of talked myself away from it, and ultimately circle back to saying, like, I wish I had just at least took steps toward it, even though I was contemplating it. I could have just still took a class here and there, and kind of invested in the possibility of that future. And I think I would have, I think it would have been a little bit easier on me, especially getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm kind of ready for the next chapter for myself. And being a dentist is that 100%. Like, I'm so excited by being able to break into cosmetics, doing veneers, doing implants, even doing extractions. I get excited about that. And I want to be able to do it. And a lot of times I feel limited by dental hygiene. I think the money's great, the flexibility is awesome, but for me personally, I see myself having my own practice. My little sister is a hygienist too. Like, it's just like, bruh, excuse me, becoming a dentist would just be the best move, I feel like. And, I kind of held myself back from that. But also, I'm not really in deep regret about it, because I've navigated the industry in such a way that I feel like becoming a dentist, opening a practice, the different relationships and networking that I've done is going to make that so much easier for me. I think being able to find the money to open a practice, being able to know best practices on, how to hire, how to build a team, how to structure the culture. Like, I speak about those things in the industry as it is. So being able to become a dentist and effectively utilize all of those things in my own setting, it's a top tier thought, man. All right, who else we got in here? Brian B. Haven't seen you in a while. What's up? What's up, bro? Yeah, man, it's been a minute. I'm trying to get back into posting on YouTube a little bit more. I think, I've kind of dip and dabble, with my YouTube channel, and I appreciate a lot of the people who are still supporting us and people are still finding the videos. But yeah, man, good to be back. Good to see you. Okay, Chris said, how old are you? Because it's an 8-year plus journey. Okay, so right now I'm 36. Okay, now this is the thing that I'm looking at. So yeah, initially, if you're starting from the beginning, right, and you have no experience in dentistry at all, and yeah, and maybe even as a dental assistant, I don't know. We had to probably talk to a few more people, but I'm gonna tell you where my inquisition has led me. I'm 36 right now. I've been a hygienist going on 9 years. And what's today? What month is it? It's May. Next month I'll been a hygienist for 9 years. Okay, so when I talk to dentists, different admin from dental colleges, because I'm a hygienist and technically, or like actually already a provider in dentistry, this is what it says on their sites. They say a bachelor's is recommended, but not mandatory. Okay, so what they've told me is that I can just complete the prereqs and then take the DAT, apply to the next cycle for dental school, and my portfolio, my letter of recommendations, like all of that stuff, like how that looks will look favorably because I've already been a practicing provider in dentistry. So I wouldn't need to do 4 years to get my bachelor's, and then also the 4 years of dental school. So I need to do like about 2 years, depending on how fast I can knock out the prereqs, and then apply. So that's a benefit. That's a benefit to using hygiene as a stepping stone. But also, I get this because I've gone back and forth about that whole thing too, like the amount of years, how old I'll be, and this is what I always get. For me, being 36, like I do look at that like, damn man, like I could have done this, back when I was 27 or shit 30. But your everybody's journey is different, and there's a girl that I went to hygiene school with who just got accepted into dental school, and she's over 40, right? And then they talk about how when they're in school, there's people who are, 50, 60 that'll be in your class. So really all that to say, age, hey, those years are gonna go by regardless. I'm gonna be 40 and I'm gonna either be a dentist or I'm gonna be a hygienist thinking about becoming a dentist. Okay, let's see. Right, see, Brian, see, 36 isn't old, man, exactly. But sometimes it feels like that, you know what I'm saying? Even when I was, this is the craziest thing, but even when I was 32, thinking about, because I told y'all I circled back to this multiple times. When I was like 30, in my earlier 30s, I was like, damn, I'm already like in my 30s, like, I'm 30, I'm 2 years into 30. And now look, I'm 6 years into it, so I could have already been a dentist right now. Geo dude, okay. That's about my time path too. I'm 20 right now. Yeah, bro. See, look, you 20? Yeah, man. Knock that out. Whatever it is, you got time to do it how I initially set out and planned, right? If you want to use hygiene as a stepping stone or assistant as a stepping stone, like, do that. You still got time. You're 20. Like, it'll be 2.5 years, 2.5, 3 years before you become a hygienist. Boom, knock that out. Get your skills together and stuff as a hygienist. Chip away, start taking those classes, and then boom, apply for the DAT and be in dental school by 26 or something. Be in dental school by 26. Do your 4 years. Be a dentist at 30. Perfect. You're only as old as you feel. Mindset. I'm 26. Yes, sir. That's true. And honestly, I'm really excited to kind of get back into that studious kind of path. I'm still traumatized though. I'm not gonna lie. I still think about like homework, projects. Oh my God. A paper? Chat GPT. But yeah, man. What other questions y'all got? I don't want this live to be too long. I want it to be watchable. Chris, I appreciate you for asking this question. This is a great opportunity for me to, kind of break the silence on going live. It's been a long time since I've gone live. I've been posting some shorts from my Instagram reels and really been, I think I posted a couple vlogs and stuff up here. I'm definitely trying to pick up on my posting. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better at it. And I appreciate y'all supporting. I appreciate y'all jumping on. Fernando, good question. So Fernando said, are you planning to take out loans or having the military pay for dental school? So I was saying earlier, I used my post 9/11 GI Bill to pay for hygiene. So that's completely exhausted. And I am a disabled vet and I have above a 10% disability rating. So that entitles me to vocational rehabilitation. I just submitted the application to them. So you have to go to the va.gov and fill out like this form 1900. something that they go through and basically check to see if you qualify. And at that point, they'll assign a counselor to you. And it'll be a similar, it sounds like a similar type of setup to the post 9/11. So they give you housing, pay for books, all the same stuff. I think the difference is that you have a counselor this time. So you have somebody that deals with you directly. So I'm hoping to have them, and maybe at a later date when I find out more, once they contact me and let me know how to support me through this journey, I'll let you guys know what that looks like for any other vets who might be in my similar situation and just want to know how that looks. Because what I'm curious about at this point is how far will they support me in the journey? Because what we're looking at is me starting at a college, here in Georgia, and doing the prereqs for dental school, and then going to dental school and seeing how much they'll pay for that. All right, Chris, you said I'll holler. Can't think of any more right now, but no, I'll have more later. Where do you practice hygiene right now? So I'm in Atlanta, and I temp full time. So I'm in offices all around Atlanta. But if you look at my content, you'll see that I'm a lot of times shooting in this one particular office called the Campbell Dental Group. That's the office that I used to work for full time before I went off on a whole nother venture into dentistry, working with this marketing company, and then came back to temping. So that's still like a home office for me. I still go back there and work every month, a few days out of the month. And yeah, that's also where my sister practices. So she's a hygienist as well. But yeah, Chris, man, I appreciate this question. I appreciate everybody who jumped on and asked any questions. Feel free to shoot me a DM or give me another topic and I'll go live or create a video or something over that. This is really good. I enjoyed this a lot, and I'll see y'all later. See how we stop this thing.